Hello, I'm GregSolomon. I recently watched a video clip uploaded by Mr. Renetto in which he addressed Chad Hurley and Steve Chen and expressed some concern over the, in his words, commercialization and commercial direction that YouTube seems to be heading in since their acquisition by Google. And as a result of Renetto's video clip, a few other video clips have been uploaded in response to him dealing with the same subject matter. Well, I know that a lot of you have probably been waiting for GregSolomon to weigh in with the definitive answer concerning this subject. And that is precisely what I'm going to do with this video clip. Now, Mr. Renetto, you were expressing concern over the apparent commercialization and commercial direction that YouTube is heading in. But I would respond to you by saying this commercial direction is nothing more than the viable business model that YouTube is morphing into. And what this business model is going to serve to do, it's going to serve to ensure that this service remains free. It's going to ensure the viability of this service, and it's going to ensure that this service stays afloat. This entity of YouTube has needed a viable business model, and it has now found a viable business model. And I don't really see the source of concern. However, I do believe that I see the source of dissatisfaction that has resulted in your video clip and some other people who have uploaded similar video clips. Allow me to illustrate, if you will, with a diagram that I think will help to illustrate my point. This is a pie chart. Now, this is called a pie chart because it resembles a pie. However, you will notice that instead of 4 slices that a pie normally has, I have divided this pie into only 2 slices. One slice belongs to Steve, and one slice belongs to Chad. Now, Chad and Steve began putting this pie together, began building this pie and making this pie out in a garage. And they used a personal credit card with which to buy the ingredients to start making this pie. Now, Chad and Steve worked very hard and put a lot of effort and work into building this pie and into making this a very good pie, and indeed into making this a very attractive pie. They made this pie so good and so attractive that a company by the name of Google took note of this pie. And Google thought the pie was so good and so attractive that they decided to acquire the pie. And Google acquired the pie for $1.65 billion. Well, this made Steve and Chad very happy, as well it should. However, this should also make us, the users of YouTube, very happy. Why? Because this viable business model that YouTube is now becoming is going to ensure that this service stays free. You see, we were able to come out here and watch any video clip we want completely for free. We were able to do that 3 months ago before YouTube was acquired by Google, and we were able to do that now. So nothing has changed with our usage of the service. However, some people are expressing some consternation over this. And I believe I know why. I believe the majority of people are satisfied with the direction that YouTube is going in, and they should be. Because this direction, this viable business model, is going to ensure the continued success of YouTube, is going to ensure the continued freedom of the service, and is going to ensure that YouTube stays afloat and stays viable. So you should be happy with this business model. But as I said, I believe there are a few out here who have some sort of consternation concerning this, and I'm going to show you by way of another diagram what I believe is the reason for their consternation. And this is the diagram right here that I'm going to use. This diagram right here represents what I believe to be the reason for some people's consternation over the business model that YouTube is now becoming. Now you say to yourself, well, what is that diagram, Greg? Well, what that is a diagram representing grapes. A cluster of grapes. Sour grapes. That's right, sour grapes. I believe that some individuals who are expressing this consternation over the direction that YouTube is heading in aren't so much concerned about the viability and the future viability of YouTube, so much as they are concerned over the fact that they are not getting a slice of the pie. Well, guess what? You weren't out in the garage working with Steve and Chad when they made the pie. It's not your pie. So you're not getting a slice of it. What Steve and Chad have done with this pie is they've created a service that is free for all of us to use. And they are ensuring that this service is going to remain free. However, I believe there are some persons out here who are hoping that YouTube was going to morph into a different business model, perhaps a business model where people would pay for video clips, and certain individuals out here would make money selling their video clips to users. And now these individuals are seeing that that is not what's going to happen, and they don't like it. For some reason, they don't want the service to remain free. For some reason, they would like to. It's the same old thing with the PayPal account. Somehow, there are some bloggers out here, some users, who just, for some reason, want to figure out a way to get a slice of this pie. They want to figure out a way to make money off of other users. What Steve and Chad have done, they've created an extremely good service out here, and they have ensured that this service is going to remain free. And I think that is a very, very good and a very viable business model. And I think we should all be not only happy with it, but thankful to Steve and Chad that they are not taking YouTube in any other direction, and that they are ensuring that the YouTube community is going to remain free for all of us to use. And by doing so, that in itself is going to ensure the continued success of YouTube, because I believe one of the ingredients of YouTube's success is the fact that it is free. We are able to access this site for free. And somebody over in Oklahoma or California or Ohio is not able to charge anyone else or any other member for viewing his or her video clips. That's the way the service was set up. It was set up as a free service, and that is one of the ingredients that has made this service so attractive and will continue to ensure its viability. But in order to ensure that, YouTube needed a viable business model. And that is what we are seeing happen with its acquisition by Google in what some of you were referring to as the apparent commercialization of it. Sure, there has to be some commercialization, and as I said, there has to be a viable business model to ensure YouTube's success. However, this is a free service. We should be very thankful for this. There are not too many things nowadays that are free, people. So as I said, the only reason that I can see for some people to be irritated and have this consternation over the direction that YouTube is heading in, because nothing else has changed. The videos were free 3 months ago, and the videos are free today. After you watch this video clip, you can go out on YouTube and watch any video clip you want for free. Now, the reason some people have this consternation is because of this, as I said. Sour grapes. They're not getting what they want. YouTube is not going in the direction that they wanted it to go in. They're not getting a slice of the pie. Well, how I would respond to you is, if you don't like the direction and the business model that YouTube is and that YouTube is becoming, then what I would advise you to do is go out in your garage and make your own pie. Put your pie together the way you want to put it together. Make your business model the way you want to make your business model. Start your own service up if you don't like the direction that this is going in. But for those of you who are entertaining thoughts of other members having to purchase your video clips, well, I'm sorry to shatter your illusions, but that's not going to happen. Steve and Chad, with this purchase and this acquisition by Google, have ensured that this service is going to remain free for all. It's going to maintain the uniqueness with which it started with. And I think the majority of us are grateful for that and are satisfied with it. Until next time, everyone, this is GregSolomon. Take care.